arm. Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here, the internet's busiest music nerd. And it's time for a review. Guardian Alien, see the world given to a one love entity. If I am correct, this is the Brooklyn band's sophomore LP and their first for Thrill Jockey Records. And the reason this project caught my attention is because Greg Fox, drummer, who you may know from the band Liturgy, is in this group. It's pretty unfortunate that recently Greg had to leave the band Liturgy because I guess he wanted to focus on other projects. I guess I could understand because he would most definitely need all the concentration he could muster for this new LP, which is essentially one 37-minute song. What you are going to find on this LP is some pretty progressive, strange, and forward-thinking psychedelic rock, which features some pretty strong musicianship, especially from Greg, whose drums are just relentless. He brings a lot of the same very fluid, intense rolls and fills that made that last Liturgy record such a freaking experience. At the very start of this piece, it is pretty much a vast atmosphere of guitar freakouts, very metallic drones, which sound like they could be coming from a guitar, a sitar, maybe even a sound bowl or two. And there's even some very kind of pleasant chanting in a female voice, which throughout the course of this track is being altered, sometimes subtly and sometimes not so subtly, by a load of effects. And though it seems like Guardian Alien has written some parts out, has planned some parts out, once I got to about 3 minutes into this thing, it became kind of apparent that in a lot of ways this thing is a jam. As I was listening to this one song, several things were going through my mind. One, I wish the guitars were, I guess, throwing out as much subtlety, as much improvisation, and as many interesting ideas as the vocals and the drums were. They were really kind of maybe a little too repetitive for me as these guys were jamming out through this track. Another thing is that the sounds on this album are so friggin' good. The production is just stellar. The sounds are so lush, they're just almost kind of tangible. The drone on this thing, though it does get a little monotonous as the song drags on, it is a nice drone. And pretty much all the instrumentation, even as these guys get very chaotic, very psychedelic, it's very well balanced, very well mixed. After the intro, the first notable change to me on this song is at about the 9-minute mark. The chanting at this point in the song eases up a little bit. The guitars are playing different phrases. You're getting some extra and different drum fills here and there. But keep in mind, at this point in the song and throughout this entire track, the drone and just the song in general is in the same key. Another great change that comes through on this album, even though I wish it happened earlier, is about the 13-minute mark, where the drums break away, and once they come back, you get them playing in a different time signature, and I like that a lot. The vocals follow suit, and the drone starts to get thickened up with more guitar layers and violin too. My least favorite part easily comes at about the 19-minute mark, where all the instrumentation, for the most part, breaks away, and the drone, you just get the quiet ambience of the drone, which would be cool because there are some points where it gets pretty heavy, lots of low end comes in, but all of these field recordings pour in right after, and it kind of sounds like they were recorded at the shore. You kind of get the ocean lapping against the beach. You're getting a little wind noise blowing into the microphone, and there is what kind of sounds like a seagull just incessantly. I mean, to be completely honest, the animal sounds don't really add to the moody and very weighty drone going on behind them. It's just kind of distracting and kind of takes me out of the moment, I guess. The drone lasts about 6 minutes, but right after the instrumentation comes back in, and it is very different from what has been going on prior in this song. Even though it is still in the same key, Greg Fox and company really start jamming and rocking on this drone, hitting a very, very nice groove with some notable intensity, something I wish they were doing much earlier past the intro on this thing. And that's pretty much a rundown of the experience that I had with this 37-minute track. I felt like the performance, just the altogether interplay of this thing, could have been a bit more intense. But I do feel like I came out of this thing with slightly more pros than cons. The instrumentation on this thing is pretty varied and great. The recording is stellar. I do like the style that these guys are presenting, and I think for the most part, especially with the track length here, they're being pretty ambitious. And I did like most of the ideas that they presented throughout this jam. I just feel like they structured this one song in such a way where these ideas feel too samey to be exciting whenever you're presented with a new one, I guess. So overall, I do kind of feel like a decent to strong 6 on this LP. Definitely not a favorite of mine for the year, but don't just pass this up because I didn't fall in love with it. If you guys have listened to this thing, what did you think? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Why? What should I review next? And remember, the good comment and the great rate, but only the strong subscribe. Anthony Fantano, Guardian Alien, forever.